An investment hedge whose day has come. Does anybody know what I'm going to be talking about?
Gold.
How do you guys know that? Gold and silver. Still going higher. Gold must rise to $2,300 an ounce just to take out the old inflation-adjusted high. Things get adjusted for inflation, folks. It's going to rise up here. Gold versus U.S. money supply. It's still cheap. We're down here. If you took the M1 money supply in the United States and divided it by the 800 tons of gold that are supposedly in Fort Knox, you know what the number turns out to be? $5,000 gold. Divided by M2, turns up to about somewhere between 10 and 12,000. Divided by M3, it turns into 25. You got to own gold. You have to own gold. There's two things you want to own. On this side, you want to own between 10 and 25%, whatever you're most comfortable with, of your total net worth into gold. And on this side, I want you to own 10 to 25% of your net worth in currency, cash. This protects you against high inflation, hyperinflation. This protects you against economic collapse, deflation. And the rest in the middle, we'll speculate with. We'll do fix and flips. We'll invest short-term trends in the stock market. But if everything goes to hell, we're covered on one side. We're not going to be broke. You know where I learned that? From Richard Russell, 86 years old. And you're going to learn that from me, too. I mean, you adopt good ideas. Yes?
When you refer to gold, you mean the gold bullion itself?
Yes. Gold bullion. Real thing.
So what do you buy, like a mutual fund in that?
No, I want real thing.
Real.
I want coins. I want physical. I don't trust these guys. And another thing, we talk about GLD and some of these things like this. You know what the ratio is? There is 100 times more contracts of gold in GLD and financial products than there is physical metal. So if everybody bought GLD or the COMEX contracts, for example, and they said, we want delivery, you know what would happen? Gold would go up 100 times. Gold would go from 1,300 to 13,000. Oh, that's only 10. But look, I'm telling you what to do, right? 10 to 15% in physical gold and silver. I like gold better. Because here, okay, let me tell you here's my theory on this. Here's one of my theories. Okay, remember think like a banker? Who's got all the gold in the world? Central banks, right? That's where the gold is, central banks. Banks, bankers, I think they could revalue gold at between $25,000 and $50,000 an ounce in an desperate effort to save the system, to put something behind the currency. And that's going to be such an instant windfall for anybody that has this stuff. You are going to be richer, you're going to be more rich than your wildest imagination, because I wouldn't put it past these guys. That's one of my scenarios. They're going to revalue gold super high, and all of a sudden, okay, I mean, because all this worthless currency, yeah, you got $1, you know, you got 50,000 bucks, it buys an ounce of gold. That's what we're going to revalue gold at. And I'm going to show you some things in here. Or they're going to collapse the currency, or they're going to collapse the economy, and cash is going to become valuable. Therefore, the cash side of it. Actually, I think both of those investments are going to turn out to do very well, by the way. So when the proverbial crap hits the fan, we're doing okay. We've got something. Think like a banker. It's to their advantage to do this, right? They've got the gold, and they preserve their power, and they preserve the economy and their money. Now their money's still good. Now the loans are still good. But gold's better. Gold versus the S&P 500, still cheap. Look at this. You know, these are just different indexes. Here's where we are right now. Gold could go up to here, you know, because back in 1978, does everybody remember when gold hit 800 and the Dow was 800? Ooh, let's say Dow goes to 15,000. Could gold go to 15,000? Uh-huh. Or let's say the Dow goes to 5,000. Probably more like it. Well, who knows nowadays? Because these guys are just cutting costs. I mean, these businesses aren't for the benefit of the U.S. economy. You know, the Dow could go to 20,000. Just keep cutting costs while the U.S. economy is collapsing. And the demand's coming from, from outside of the U.S. You know, China's now the second biggest economy in the world. About 5 years ago, they were like California was bigger than them. These guys are growing.